Hey guys, little bit of a surprise. We are going to be doing Murky as a video for high level hero guides for the second video in September. Guys, if you are not sure, we are going to be doing, or if you haven't heard anyways, we are going to be doing a video every other day in September. And a little bit of incentive for me to make sure that we can get through all of this. There is a sponsor, and that is Geno Pallets or Geno Pallets. They use your genes to find the best diet that's going to absorb the most nutrients. They've just done a lot of research on it. It could be a gimmick or it could change your life. Who knows? But you can use the code NotParadox with no spaces, all caps, and save $20 on that. So make sure to check that out at the link down below. Otherwise, Murky, let's get into this game. So I want to show you guys this game purely because I don't have a lot of Murky guides, and I feel like this would be a great one to show you because it shows you how you can play Murky rather safe and get a lot of value from it. He's going against Lost Vikings, which Murky's pretty good against Lost Vikings because they can't really destroy your pufferfish fast enough, so you get bribe charges a little bit faster than they do, and they can't really answer you if you proxy a wave, which I'm going to talk about proxying a little bit later, but most likely we won't be seeing too much proxying of any waves. And I do want to also point out, how are these high-level hero guides? Well, all of the guides that I'm going to be showing are from competitive games. They are games that were played with either prize money on the line, or they were games that were played in the finals or semifinals or the semifinals, the quarterfinals of any major tournament. This was part of Div S back in March, so it is a little bit older, but Murky really hasn't seen any changes in a little while, so the build and playstyle is still going to be the same. He is primarily trying to get stacks of bribe as fast as possible on Garden of Terror. And while he picked this on Garden of Terror so that he could be a little bit more aggressive to Lost Vikings, it's also a map that's heavily based on camps. And having one of the best bribes in the game is great on a map that has some of the most camps. So that is one of the things that you're going to want to do when you're playing Murky, is you're going to want to get your bribe stacks as fast as possible, and you're going to want to use those bribe stacks to gain a lot of value. You can also be as annoying as possible to things like Vikings, or really any other enemies that are available, and that's exactly what he's doing. His team only has one kill, but he is double soaking and keeping his team up in experience by a huge margin, even against Lost Vikings, who usually has the huge experience portion. So again, he's also going against Wit, who is a Grandmaster player who plays a decent amount of Vikings. So right here is what you see as stealing a camp, and you could potentially proxy the wave if you wanted to go a little further and kill this wave over here. Oftentimes proxying the wave is what Murkies do, purely because it allows you to kill a wave far away from the enemies, and they have a hard time getting you because you can move so fast to get back away. So in this case, he could potentially proxy one wave. The way you proxy a wave is you kind of look at how much room you have between where your wave is spawning, and that's also where the enemy wave is going to spawn. In this case, he does not proxy the wave. He actually plays extremely safe almost this entire game. So you'll see he's just focusing on the double soaking, and he'll join fights only to get a few Qs off. Now, that's talking about his playstyle in the early game, so let me talk a little bit about his build in the early game, and it'll go into what his build builds into in the later portions of the game as well. So, at level 1, he takes a fishy deal. A fishy deal is the bribe on Murky, and it is very quick to get stacks. So, you can get 7 stacks per wave if you do it correctly, which is a W, a Q, and a Q, or a QWQ. And you'll be able to get 7 stacks every wave. You can use 8 stacks to bribe a Merc, making it to where you can effectively bribe a Merc every other wave, give or take. A little bit under one full wave, you can bribe a Merc. Then at level 4, he takes Slime Time. Now Slime Time, what Slime Time does is Slime Time will, as long as you use a Q on a target that's already slimed, you will then increase the damage of your slime by 125 if you hit 10 people with that. If you hit 20 people, it increases the slow amount by 30%, making it easier to get more slimes off on enemies. Then you can increase the radius by 30% at level 7. And this allows him to do a lot of damage and slow people a considerable amount. He can simply just use his E to get off a little bit more damage by chasing people, and he's just pressuring a lot. Again, he plays Murky very safe. Like, this is the thing about Murky, is that I wanted to teach you guys, if I was going to do a guide on Murky, I wanted to teach you guys a guide that does Murky a little bit differently. And this is what I'm talking about. It plays Murky in a way that's so much safer and so much more effective. He does a ton of damage. He's applying a ton of pressure down bot lane, taking the bottom towers on his own. And he's gotten a ton of bribe stacks, as well as he's applied a ton of experience for his team. And so that's really where I wanted to share that, just because it's really, really effective. I mean, they're sending multiple Vikings down just trying to deal with Murky, who's pushing, and they could send heroes down. He just starts double soaking again, which is what he did earlier. This is him proxying the wave because his AoE damage is much better than his single target damage. So you'll see that he proxies waves instead of sieging, because it's just more valuable for him to kill the wave rather than actually siege, where the minions have better single target damage. He ends up going with Octograb. Now, I would imagine Storm League, March of the Murlocs is a very valuable ult that gets a ton of value. But when you're in competitive or you're playing with teams, this is where the high level hero guide is going to adjust a little bit. Octograb is going, which he could have Octograbbed and killed the Viking there, but wasting an ult just for a Viking probably isn't worth it. And so he probably calculated that a little bit. Octograb is huge for the competitive scene because you can lock down a target and your team can finish them off while they're locked down. You can't break them out, because you're just going to be constantly there. Well, he does end up killing a target with Octograb. A little surprised about that, but okay. Ooh, he blocked that last shot, which would have killed him. And he just continues pushing. So his team's pushing mid, and now they've gotten a ton of value in every lane. He's given a huge amount of experience to his team, and he's just absolutely dominating as far as the value that he's bringing to this game. So with the Lost Vikings getting the buffs that they've gotten recently, I really think that Murky's an interesting counter, purely because the Vikings can't really deal with your pufferfish, and your bribe is better than their bribe, and if they're not paying attention, this slime build can actually really tear apart some Vikings, especially in like fights like this where you can hit multiple Vikings and slow them by a considerable amount. There's his quest being down. And now if he wants to Octograb just to get a kill, he can. If not, he doesn't even need to worry about that. And he goes right back to getting bribe stacks. Now this next objective could potentially give them the plants, and if it does give them the plants, they're going to be in a really good spot to take a keep. And he's actually just trying to do what he can to defend this catapult. I'd be tempted to just ult it just so he could get rid of Balog, who does the most for... oh, he's just going to tap him. Nice. Uses E to get out. And level 13. Now, you could see people go with Rejuvenating Bubble, as that heals you, and it's going to be really beneficial. But Fish Tank is actually what he goes with. And with this build, it allows for a lot of healing with the Q build. So you're going to see that he's almost unkillable near the end game, and his team does end up winning this objective. But this game isn't over. There's still so much that these teams can do. Remember, this is in the quarterfinals of Division S, and so it's not quite as easy as they might make it. Now, this is a competitive team. This is essentially Granite Gaming, and so it just kind of shows you a little bit of what they can do with Murky. Like, Murky is a joke pick oftentimes, but they picked Murky seriously as their answer to this map as well as Lost Vikings. They didn't pick it as a joke. They honestly picked it because they felt it would be a good answer here. Now, the Korean teams have been using Falstad as the answer to Lost Vikings, so keep that in mind that a lot of teams can use different methods. But there are a lot of different answers for it, for sure. So the slow is pretty good, but again, it's Vikings. He can simply just walk away. And once again, he takes a fort, a keep, double soaks in the beginning, bribes 2 different camps, has 4 bribe stacks, gets multiple kills, and has yet to die. This is a Murky that has not died this entire game. Level 16, I would imagine it's obvious what talent he's going to take. Toxic buildup, successive basic attacks, will apply a slime. It casts a free slime anyways. So you now will be sliming, auto-attacking, and getting free slimes off. And then finally at level 20, you can reduce slime cooldown, or potentially he could go with higher health pool so he survives burst. Or you could go with the upgrade on the Octograb, so you can do 25,675% more damage. But most likely he's going to be taking this so that you reduce the cooldown of slime from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. And you get so much healing from that. So he's had his first death this game, and he's just back down to bottom lane again. He's just applying pressure so that his team can get value all over the map, and he's just trying to annoy them. I mean, like, this is also X-Ray, by the way, an old pro player back from HGC, and there again, it looks like he's playing against, like, it looks like he's smurfing, but he's really not. Like, this is a competitive game in the quarterfinals against competitive players. X-Ray is an awesome streamer if you want to check him out. A lot of these players are streamers. You can check out Lauber. You can check out, I believe Swamp Groot has streamed here and there, but I checked his stream recently and I haven't seen much. But you can take a peek, see if you see him. But yeah, either way, I mean, he just chases people down. And so this is another thing too. Once you get your keep, oftentimes it's best to swap lanes if you are playing like a heavy split pusher, because if you swap lanes, it just allows you to apply pressure in another lane where bottom lane's already applying a lot of pressure with always catapult spawning. And you can get a little bit more from there. He uses a couple bribe stacks just to send in a camp mid, and then he's going to head back up top to apply more pressure top. But it's just constant pressure. Every second of his time is being used efficiently, and he's using it in the best method possible, as well as he still has, I mean, he's bringing that macro value, but at the same time, not just macro value, he has that Octograb in case he does want to take a team fight. Wow. Oh, right as the auto attack triggered, he did like 80% of their health. Like, it's just crazy. And he is just gonna drop that keep, because by the time they can get up to him, it's over. He actually waits until the shield's almost up, and then he quickly does about half of Dino's health, and if there wasn't any healing, he actually could have killed Dino there. He'll just do a Q, get himself some bribe stacks, quick 6 bribe stacks, and again, I mean, he's just terrifying, and killing him is only worth a fourth of a kill, so it's really not that effective to try to kill him here. I don't see him closing out this game, but he can definitely try to get some kills to prevent them from getting experience. So it's going to be really hard for them to kill him because he's healing off of 3 targets here with his Q. So I don't think they ever actually kill him. The burst of the spin probably would have been their best bet at getting a kill there. But outside of that burst, I don't think he gets... I don't think they ever kill him because he just heals way too much. I mean, that's just so much damage and so much healing. So he's blocking the he's dodging the shots from the keep using his E, but he's just being disruptive. Like, his team can literally do whatever they want to do this game because he's being so disruptive to the enemies. He's applying pressure in every lane. He's stealing a lot of their camps. This is why I wanted to show you guys. So he does go the upgraded health here, Big Tuna Kahuna. It increases your health and your respawn time. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys that there is a playstyle of Murky that is actually pretty competitive. This is high-level Heroes Guides, and it's a high-level game. It's Murky. I know it seems a little crazy, but there is a playstyle that you can do on Murky that's a lot safer, a lot more calculated, and is very effective. But the other thing too is you need to know that he's only going into fights that he knows that he can survive. He doesn't go into fights that he dies. The only couple deaths that he's had, he's traded for a keep. Keep that in mind when you are playing Murky, that you might want to know how much damage the enemies do in order to take that risk. And that's exactly what he does really, really well, is he knows what fights to go into. So he's honestly not even taking that many risks when he does go in. So that's just something to think about when you are watching this video. And I know it's strange I'm bringing out a Murky video, but I don't have a Murky guide. It is still high-level gameplay. It might not be completely meta. I think there's other heroes that could do what he's done this game. But I know a lot of people have asked me for Murky guides, so I think this is a great guide to show you. It talks a little bit about the build. And again, Big Tuna Kahuna, it keeps it to where he doesn't die to burst, and now he still has all that extra sustain that he had before. And yeah, I mean, this is always the awkward time, though. I mean, he has the Octograb. I'm curious why he doesn't just go and attack their team. Is he really just trying to prevent the soak from Vikings, to try to prevent them from getting 20? He's literally just flanking them, and this is wild. So he dies here, but his team gets the objective. It's interesting. And his egg is right here, so even double the death timer still isn't that bad. He zoned out for so long. He gets the Octograb. I mean, they can't kill him, so the Octograb gets its full value. And then he's zoning out 2 people in the backline, so he's giving his team an advantage by fighting a 1v2. His team gets to fight a 4v3. And also Octograbbing Jaina makes it to where she doesn't feel like going in either. So even during team fights, it's calculated. He's not just suiciding. He's going in, he's doing some damage, he's applying some pressure, and then he's going in again. He's doing some damage, and he's applying some pressure. And he just keeps doing that over and over and over. And again, it's like it's oddly calculated. Like he gets hit by the grenade, so he no longer heals. Once the grenade's over, he gets a Q, which heals. And he should die here, though. Oh, that was good. If you didn't see, Zarya threw in a pulse bomb. Or not a pulse bomb, but I don't remember what that's called. Threw in her Q, anyways. Particle cannon. A particle bomb. I don't know. Threw that in, and he dodged it. And again, it's still calculated. Like, he's going into these fights knowing how valuable they are, but he's also being very annoying at the same time. This Murky gameplay could honestly make some huge waves on maps like this, even in the competitive scene. He's distracting like 3 or 4 people every fight. It's crazy. Like, his team's just going for the objective, and he's zoning out the Jaina and the Ana. He doesn't want to get bursted, so as long as he dodges the sleep dart, it seems like he's okay. So he drops down his pufferfish, goes for an ult, and the nano boosted Jaina doesn't get value for the first half of nano boost, and then sanctification prevents the damage from the second half of nano boost. And boom, she's dead. And they close out the game here. And that is Granite Gaming's Swamp Groot, or Swamp Groot. That is his Murky, ending the game with less than a single death, doubling anyone else's siege damage on his team, doubling anyone else's experience contribution on his team, and doing the top hero damage this game as Murky. So to go over the build one more time, it's pretty straightforward. It's just Q build with Fish Tank, with Fishy Deal, and with Big Tuna Kahuna. It is... And he plays it very calculated, so I recommend if you are going to learn from this playstyle, you guys should be playing this very calculated as well. But with all of that being said, hopefully you guys have learned there's another way to play Murky, and it's a very, very powerful way to play Murky. A ton of siege damage, a ton of pressure, and you don't need to die that often. So learn from that, and guys, again, every other day during this month, I'm going to be making videos, high level hero guides. Make sure to check out any of those videos. And if you're not seeing all my videos all the time, click subscribe, click the bell next to it. I'm also trying to do a push for 50,000 subscribers. So make sure to do that, to check out all of my guides over the course of this month. They're all going to be competitive games. They're all from previous tournaments over the last few months, and they should be a lot of fun. So make sure to check out all of those. Thank you guys so much for watching, and feel free to check out any other videos.